What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video on the build of this piece of crap thing behind me. So I just finished these hood pins. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out. Threw it up yesterday. Maybe, I don't know. And I also did the roof scoop as well, at least the vent. I didn't actually mount the scoop. So the plan is to dig out the subframe, which is in this pile of garbage right here. Yeah, it's real good looking right there. And then once I get that out, I'm probably gonna throw the steering rack in it just to make it easier and I don't have to do it later. And then throw it in the car. That way I can actually have a roller. Push this thing out. So I gotta clear my driveway for that and clean my garage. Because that is the biggest issue right now. Like, obviously you just saw that big pile of what the heck right there. Because I've just gotten really bad with putting stuff away. But I'm gonna fix that today. Blow off the car, like clean the car really well while it's outside. That way I don't have to clean the garage afterwards. And then I'm probably gonna move on to stripping the engine bay as well. So I'm gonna try to start digging this subframe out and find my steering rack, which I have no idea where it is. Oh wait, I see it right now. I do know where it is. Well, I don't remember this happening. I guess one of the steering rack bolts sheared off a long time ago. I did have the old GC8 crossmember in here before, but that doesn't even work with NA headers, so it won't clear. So I'm going to try to make use of this, but I don't remember. I didn't remember how corroded this was and how rusty some of the important structural areas are on it. So I might just look for another one and not even bother throwing this in today. Alright, I lied. So this came out fine. I was able to clean up the threads too, so don't have to worry about that now. So I'm just going to keep this one. I'll probably pull it back out eventually. Get rid of all the rust and like repaint it. Use like port 15 or something on there, so you don't have to worry about rust, and it gives it like a nice hardy surface. Or I'll just get a new one and do that another time. We'll see, but I'm going to throw this in the car now. That way I can actually steer the car and have a roller. Alright, it's the next day. I didn't do any more work after I cleaned up the garage. And it's still cold and rainy outside, so pushing the car out and cleaning it, it's not going to happen today. Unless it actually gets better later today, but I don't think it's going to. So the plan is to work on fixing the stripped weld nuts that are actually on the body. So the transmission cross member has one, and so did the drive shaft mount for the two-piece drive shaft. It has like a carrier bearing in the center. And a mount that actually goes to the body, one of those stripped as well. So those are the two that I know of that I have to fix. There might be some others that I have to look at while I'm underneath the car. The hardest part is going to be pinpointing exactly where they are, because I'm going to come from the top through the floor. I feel like that would be the easiest way to patch it afterwards. That way I don't have to worry about like structural welding, and I can just weld in a patch into the sheet metal. And that's not really a big deal. So that's the plan. I'm going to pinpoint exactly where the transmission crossmember one is first, and then we'll go from the top and start hacking away at the car. All right, so that piece in the back there, that's the one with the stripped weld nut that I have to fix. It might not actually be stripped. It might have just broken the weld off on the actual weld nut in the chassis, so might just be able to re-weld it to the chassis and it might work again, but I'm not sure. So now I gotta do some measurements and figure out exactly where it is. That way I don't hack up too much stuff to try to get at it. So I have access to it, which you're not going to be able to see, I don't think at all. But through this little hole, you can see the nut. So my plan is, since it does spin really freely and it's just, I don't think the nut is stripped at all, I'm just going to try holding it back and getting it out to make sure that it actually isn't stripped, because I don't want to weld it in there yet. If it is stripped, that would be quite the pain if I like weld that up fully and then I have to hack it out anyway, no matter what, to replace the nut. So I'm just going to try to get something in that hole to stop it from spinning, to hold it back, take the bolt off, and then if it comes out fine, then I'll just weld it up. And I should just be able to shove the torch through that hole and get enough weld on there to where it's not going to spin anymore. All right, so I have access to it now. As you can see, there's the nut. My cordless impact is not enough to get it off though, even with the holdback. So I'm gonna break out the air impact and see what the heck's up with this. Got it out, there it is. So definitely stripped. That'd be why it didn't want to come out. I don't know if you can see, maybe. Yeah, but there's nothing left of these threads. At the bottom there's threads, but the nut's just destroyed. So I don't know, I must have, I don't know if I cross-threaded it when I threw it in there, because I had that out a couple times. It went in fine though, the last time when I did the 207, the EJ207 swap in there. So I don't know, I mean, it all went together fine. But the threads are fine for like the first half of the bolt, and then like near when it actually get tight are when they're all sheared. So it might have just like, I don't know. I was also using an impact, and using an impact on like older corroded bolts probably isn't the smartest thing to do. That's also why the weld broke off on this. But the good thing is I have plenty of room to weld on a new one. I've got weld nuts that I can use, like the same ones that I used for the steering column. That's actually like the proper size for this, because it's a I think it's an M10 or M12 or something like that. So it's pretty beefy. So that's what I'll weld in there. I'll clean up the best I can, get in there with the Dremel and clean it up so I can get a good solid weld on there. Weld it up and then fix that hole, which I should just be able to like fold it back down, because I didn't cut that chunk off completely. So I can probably just fold it back down and then weld it back up. That way I don't have to like make a whole new piece, and then I can just grind out my welds. That'll be a lot easier. And then the next one, well, we'll just get started on that after I'm done. All right, here's the second one. So I completely messed with my measurements, as you can see right here. Totally started cutting over here, but here's the bad nut and bolt combo here. So same thing, I'm just gonna pull it off, hook up a hold back to it, and I should be able to use the impact to get it off, and then just weld a new one on. All right, weld nut is all done, welded in place, so both of them are good now. So I can just fold this piece back, tack it up along here, and then grind on the welds, fix this area that I totally missed at, grind it down the same way, and then we'll be done with this. So that really wasn't that bad. They were pretty easy to get at. It wasn't like some of the other ones that would have been. So like if there was any in the rear, those would have been really bad for like the rear subframe or whatever. So if any of those... What gauge is this quick? Anyway, like I was saying, we'll just patch these up real quick. And yeah, I was lucky that there weren't any that are stripped in the rear. These are the only two. I checked all the other ones and they're all good. Alright, those spots are good enough. You can hardly tell now, and you won't really be able to tell with paint. And it doesn't really matter. It's going to be inside and covered by the seat, so it's good enough. There's no holes or anything like that. Just not the most pretty thing to look at. But time to come up with some more stuff to do on that list. It did actually stop raining, so I might push the car out and blow all this crap off, hit it with the air hose and whatnot, get rid of all this, and then vacuum it, and then push it back inside. I don't know though. We'll see. All right, next thing up on the list, I'm going to take care of some of the stuff in the engine bay. So I'm gonna clean it up, get rid of all of the corrosion that are in some spots. So like this lip in here has some random like rust spots on it that are starting. So I'm gonna take that down to bare metal. And then once I hit all of those areas, I think I'm gonna push it outside because it isn't raining right now. And then I can hit it with the degreaser, clean the crap out of it, and hose it down and whatnot. And then once I do that, see what areas that I actually need to strip a little bit further, and then scuff it up a little bit, and then primer it and throw some paint on it too. All right, I got rid of most of the surface rust that I can see anyway, like all through here and whatnot. I do want to spray some acid etch on there to possibly stop any further spread of rust, so that's what I'll do. But I'm gonna push it outside. It's not raining, not supposed to rain the rest of the night. So even though it looks gloomy and it might rain, who knows, I'm gonna push it outside. Power wash the inside, well not power wash, but use like degreaser and hose it all down. Try to clean it really well. That way I can see like what other areas I need to strip. And then I'll scuff it out there and then push it back in. Let it dry and then probably paint it later tonight or tomorrow. Hey, it's a roller again, with wheels pointing the opposite direction and 2 flat tires. Need to clean up all this crap. take this time to try to clean up a little bit, but it just started raining again really lightly. So I'm gonna steal the car cover off his car and cover the back half and then start doing the front end and clean it up really well. Car's all cleaned up relatively well. Engine bay is pretty much completely degreased right now. It started raining when I was out there, so I kind of just said whatever, and I hosed down the whole car. So gonna have some surface rust issues now, but it's gonna get painted really soon. At least the interior is, so I don't have to worry about it. As long as I take care of it pretty quickly. So that's the plan anyway. But right now, I'm gonna clean up in here where I can, so I can push it back inside. And I'm about to help my buddy Brandon pick up his shell that he's got right there, his 240. We're gonna go drop it off at his garage and pick up my Datsun from there too, because that's where it's been this whole time, sitting in his shop. So yeah, it'll be nice getting some of his tools out of my garage. At least open up some more room. So time to clean.
The thing is, Bob, it's not lazy. It's that I just don't care.
Well, I think that this is really going to help with motivation because it looks so much better now that it's clean. Definitely a major step. The car looks way better. So I'll actually be a little bit more motivated to work on it, because honestly, when I've been coming out here and looking at it and how nasty it is, it's pretty annoying. And I don't feel like actually working on it. Well, I did it again. I filmed my outro and my mic was off because I walked away to help my buddy load up his car onto the trailer, and I forgot to turn my mic back on when I came back. So once again, I'm just always doing that. So I got a lot done though. Managed to knock a few things off my list. It is the day that I'm editing it, so it's not the same day. That's why I look a little different. Less dry, less cold and whatnot. But the car's drying off, and it's all good. And I'd like to show it to you right now so you can actually see where it's at, but you don't get to yet. Not until that video actually comes out, because it's pretty far ahead of this video. I'm running behind again. I can start editing some more videos. I've got like 4 that I need to get caught up on. But anyway, guys, appreciate you guys watching once again. Subscribe if you're not already. I'd really appreciate that too. So I'll see you guys with whatever my video is next that I'm doing on the car. I don't know. Probably painting the engine bay, because that obviously is what I prepped it for. So yeah, I'll see you guys when I do that.